Because if you want to think about this as another way, guys, another way I think about this and the way I explain it to my clients is that this is a big filter, right? A clustering approach is a big filter. I'm going to create a really solid model that can take your data and filter it into these categories really quickly. It's almost like one of those in the U.S. we call it like a colander or a sieve. Something where like you would drain your spaghetti, right? You put your spaghetti in the top and all the water comes out, right? So it's a big filter, a big sieve in that way, right? So if you have that and you have everything being categorized, what's left in the bowl? What didn't get categorized or at least strongly categorized? If you do it right, the stuff that's left over in the bowl, the stuff that didn't get filtered, that's your emerging risk, right? So it's almost like you're creating a filter to see what gets omitted, right? Because that stuff that gets omitted could be an emerging risk in that scenario. This is the item where you couldn't classify a law to it or a policy to it. Or rather, it's the other way. This is the law that you couldn't classify a policy to it. So because you don't have policy to cover that law, that's an emerging risk, right? So that's how I mostly use these clusterings, where it's just like a big filter for you to dump a bunch of stuff into. It all comes out as it should, and then you look for what's left over.